Hey everybody, I'm Allison Schaaf, chef, dietitian, mom, and founder of prepdish.com. And today I'm going to share with you a few of the items that really helped keep me sane during that first year. So I have one son, he's about a year now. So kind of coming out of that, I wanted to share some of the products, items, apps that helped keep life sane may be a bit of a stretch, but helped keep us happy, healthy, and everything sort of under control during that first year. The first thing I want to share is related to sleep. So for me, I knew going into it, you have a new baby, sleep is hard to come by, but I also know that if I don't have sleep, I am not my best self. I've always prioritized sleep my whole life. So going into this, I knew that's something I wanted to do. In general, I did tend to try and prioritize that as much as was possible. I would get my husband's help. If we had relatives over, I would enlist them to help with middle of the night stuff. And I started a new schedule. This was just in the early days, but I had a schedule of going to bed at 7 p.m. and then waking him at 3 a.m. and relieving whoever was on duty at that point. And that worked for probably a good few weeks, maybe a month. I kept up that schedule just so that I knew I could get some solid sleep. The thing that really helped, so there's a sleep app by Aaptiv. I actually found it through Audible though. It's free on Audible, or if you're on Aaptiv, which is like a fitness app, you can find it on there. And it's by Jade. She has a whole, I think, 7-day sleep meditation training, but there's a specific track, day number 2, that I love. Like, it just helps, it kind of shuts down your body, helps you clear your mind and fall asleep. So that was my hack for falling asleep at 7 o'clock at night, so that I knew I could get, a good like 7 or 8 hours of sleep all at once. So I will make sure and link that below. But yeah, the sleep app from Aaptiv, Jade, track number 2 specifically every night. Even to this day, I don't use it every single night, but I would say at least 50% of the nights I'm using that to help make sure that I'm not tossing and turning and that I'm falling right asleep. I'm going to be looking this direction because that's where my listed. Item number 2 is Navigator's Counsel. This is a journal for me and my husband both. So it's a marriage journal. We do it once a week. We didn't start this until after baby, and it's really helped to keep us connected. Especially with this being our first one, we knew that we were going to kind of be in for a wake-up call in terms of finding time as a couple to connect on a regular basis. So what this is every week it has the same set of questions that you go through. You start off, what brought you joy this week? What's something that was hard this week? Something that you is there something I can help you with this week? So it's really a guide and a really structured format to have that weekly touch point with your spouse. We do it on Sunday evenings, and then if one of us happens to be traveling or something, we try and make it up on weeks and do it every week. We've really committed to doing this, and we found it makes a big difference to make sure that there's nothing that needs to be said that's not being said, and that everyone's kind of doing okay. And so I'll link this one below, but it's been really helpful for us in our marriage during the first year with baby. Number 3, it's kind of weird. I'll just say it and I'll explain it. So pancakes. I used to always make pancakes about every Saturday. It was kind of a tradition that I started with my husband. I love to have Saturday morning pancakes. It's really fun. But when baby came along, I, not intentionally, but I noticed that I was making pancakes even more than once a week, which I know you're tight on time, so why am I making pancakes? And what I finally realized is I think for me, it was kind of this form of self-care and doing something for me. So the pancakes that I make are those egg, so it's either an egg and a banana with some coconut, shredded coconut, or sweet potato, egg, and shredded coconut. So they're healthy. They're not super sweet or anything. And I enjoy eating them. I feel really nourished. I have to go through the process of cooking them, which I do enjoy cooking. That's why, I went to culinary school, and, I worked years as a personal chef. So I think for me, the ritual of making those pancakes, even when I don't have much time, really helped me to feel cared for and nourished, and also made sure that I had breakfast in my belly. You know, when there's a new baby, skipping meals is a real thing. It had never been a thing for me in my life. I'm pretty consistent with my eating, but with that new baby, it is more difficult to eat on a regular basis. So if I could get those pancakes in, it was just an easy way for me to, I guess, feel cared for. That's what I've kind of come up with. And I can link that recipe below. But yeah, the pancakes for me really just, not every day. There's totally days where it's not going to happen, but you know, maybe 2 days a week making those. And the cool thing was, as he got older, so around like 9 or 10 months, I was able to start sharing those with my son, and that's been really fun to now have that tradition to do that with him and eat those together. So it's kind of evolved as time has gone on. So pancakes, tip number 3. Fourth thing that's kept me sane, I'm gonna try not make this awkward, but joggers. Okay, I'll have someone put a picture up on the screen so you can see them fully, but within, I would say like week number 2 of having baby, I got on Amazon and ordered 3 or 4 pairs of joggers. I have plenty of yoga pants, but there was something about, you know, 3 in the morning, waking up with a crying baby. I didn't want to put tight yoga pants on. A lot of times we had relatives over, so I had to put some sort of pants on. And the joggers are just super comfy and were kind of my, well, they're still a little bit my uniform, right? I'm working, shooting a video today, and here I am wearing my joggers. So definitely helped keep me more comfy, but also I guess sane during that first year and beyond. You can continue to wear them after. But I actually have told friends that are, you know, pregnant and getting ready to have their first baby, I told them, you know, you might want to invest in some comfy clothes for yourself, especially during that first month or so, when you're kind of needing just something that's comfy, but also semi-presentable. So joggers is tip number 4. Fifth one, this one is just something that, this is something I've always done, but when baby came along, it would have been easy to drop, but I didn't, and I feel like it made a big difference, and that's meditation. So my husband and I both did TM training, which is Transcendental Meditation training, and that has been one of the biggest tools in my life to keep me sane. I think here's where sane is really a good word. I think it keeps me more calm and focused and less scattered, which can really happen with little sleep and a baby. So my meditation practice became more important. There were days I skipped. There were times when I didn't do the full 20 minutes. I was definitely far from perfect on the meditation, but I didn't drop it completely. And as time went on and I had more space, more of a routine, it's something that I brought back in right away on a more regular basis. So there's also, I don't have an app recommendation for meditation because I've always just kind of done my TM practice, other than that nighttime one that I recommended in the beginning. But yeah, if you can just find something that works for you to quiet your mind and allow some space to just kind of breathe and be quiet, that's essential in any phase of your life, but especially with a newborn. If you can find that little pocket of time, it's very worthwhile. At least it has been for me. Number 6. So number 6 is another app. This one's called the Wonder Weeks app. It's really cool because it outlines developmental leaps that babies go through that might make them a little fussier. I found that I wasn't good at checking it in advance, but if Ivan ever had a day or a week where he was kind of a little cranky or a little fussier, the first thing I would do was I'd head to the Wonder Weeks app. I would see what developmental phase he might be in that would be causing it. And it helped me have a lot more grace for him and understanding and patience of like, oh yeah, like he's learning a whole new dimension this week. You know, there's so much that they learn in that first year, and having a better understanding of what might be going on with him helped me to be a lot more patient of why, oh, this is why he's fussing. I don't necessarily need to do anything other than, you know, be there for him. but it's not anything that I'm doing wrong necessarily. It's just something that he's going through. So yeah, the Wonder Weeks, they also have a book. I just did the free app in the beginning, so you know, you could do that, but there's a book that at some point I might read. I didn't learn about it until after baby came along, so haven't had a chance to read the book, but I think it would be a pretty fascinating resource and book as well. But yeah, that definitely helped keep me sane during that first year. Number 7. Number 7 is a really simple one. So it's a baby wash. So if you follow me at all, you know I'm a fan of Beautycounter. I like a one-stop shop for more natural beauty products, safer beauty products and skincare. And so I love that they have a baby wash. I've used this for him. And more than like the specific product, what I wanted to talk about with this is just knowing that I'm doing the best I can with him. I feel like some of the products, it's less about the product, but more about that kind of peace of mind that like, okay, check, I know a nice, clean, safe baby wash that I can use for him, and so then I give him a bath every night. I am not wondering and reading the ingredients, and it's not something else for me to worry about. I know I'm doing right by him in that department. I can just do it once and not have to worry about it or think about it for the rest of the next few years, because that's just my go-to. Number 9, I know I keep looking over there, but that's what my list is, and then my little stash is down here. So number 9 is, again, with my stash, and that is my soul planner. So same thing here, it doesn't have to be this brand. I do love this one, but some sort of date planner or system for writing things down. Especially the first 3 to 4 months, I wrote down more than ever, like little notes and stuff, because I just had to know like the essentials that had to be done that day. I had to call the pediatrician for something. I made sure and like wrote that in here. I do have, you know, tasks and Trello and systems online, but in the beginning, having this, and I've always been a pen and paper, so even without baby, I've always had the pen and paper, but pen and paper got way more important when he came along, and I really use this a lot. And it's also bigger size, so this is my 2019 planner. This was my first time in a while using one that was this large in size. I usually go for smaller ones because I travel so much, but I knew I wasn't gonna be traveling as much in 2019, and I really liked having the space to really write down everything that needed to be written down and captured, and then it was all in here and I wasn't losing things. So definitely a way to keep sane was having this day planner. Number 10, probably no surprise to some or most of you, I guess anyone that's been following me for a while, because I founded a meal planning website. It's called Prep Dish. These are the meal plans. I've used them for years. You know, I developed them, 6 years ago, and I've always used my own meal plans, but I have never relied upon them in the way that I did when baby came along. All of a sudden, these meal plans became way more important than they ever were before, because it was such an easy way to have my consolidated grocery list, and I can put one on the screen so you can see it closer up, but having that grocery list that I could just have someone buy groceries, I could put in the order, but do that. And then the prep day, more than ever, I did not always do it all the way through. What I would do is when I had time, I would just come to a list and then cross off as I got my meal prep. So this second piece here is the meal prep pieces. So as I went along throughout the week, I would just cross off the pieces I had done. And it's also a great way to have someone else help out. So if you have in-laws or you know, a nanny or someone, a babysitter that's over, they can help tackle this as well. A lot of people have their husbands help. I handle more of the cooking in our household, but and then this is just the cooking instructions, which is really nice too, because if I'm not there, if someone else needs to take over cooking dinner, the instructions are right here too. So shameless plug for, you know, my product, Prep Dish meal plans. Totally appreciate them in a whole new way now that I'm 1 year into motherhood. So definitely a lifesaver that kept me sane. We have a 2 free week trial that's linked below. So if you want to try those out, I, especially if you are a new mom, highly recommend looking into those. So those are my 10 items that kept me sane during that first year of motherhood. Let me know in the comments below which one of these resonated with you. Are there any that you're going to try? Would love to hear from you. And if you have any other topics you'd like to hear about, again, let me know in the comments below. Great. Thank you. Have a good one. Today I'm going to share with you 10 items that kept me